Hey, it's me Tiffany, welcome back to my channel. Today we're reacting to episode 3 and episode 4 of Love in the Big City. I'm excited to see how this is gonna. I got some comments about how the directing is gonna go and that there's multiple directors for the series. I'm really excited to just count the difference. So yeah, I'm excited to see how this go. And then before we start, I do have to kind of say a warning for next week that I will not be posting on Tuesday. Usually I post on Tuesdays, but because I will be gone over the weekend to go see Jimmy and C, I don't have time to film for obvious reasons. So my goal is to have Love in the Big City be the first thing I film on Wednesdays. I come back on Monday, but I have school from 9 in the morning till 8 at night on Tuesdays, so don't have time. So my goal is film it on Wednesday morning and then get it uploaded before any other series that I'm going to catch up on, because this is a Patreon exclusive and I want you guys to have your videos. So yeah, there's that, but it's going to be at least a day late. If everything goes out great, cross my fingers. But yeah, without further ado, let's watch episode 3 and 4 of Love in the Big City.
형, 혹시 뭐 하시는 분인지 여쭤봐도 돼요? 갑자기요? 창작을 하신다는 말만 들었는데 정확히 무슨 일을 하시길래 이렇게 자포다식하신 건지.
그냥 평범한 노동자입니다.
Ooh, he bothers me a little bit, the red flag of the way he speaks. Also the way that he just knows. I don't know, knowing random facts isn't a bad thing, but for some reason the way he's using these facts.
원래 안 좋으신 건가요?
이것은 주말에 공에 맞아서 가리려고 썼습니다.
축구라도 하셨나요?
It feels like he's answering the questions, but not really either.
감나가 다친 애가 있었거든요. 걔는 그것 때문에 군대도 안 갔다 하니까요.
두 분도 한 장 찍어드릴게요. 저희 괜찮아요.
See, no photos. Red flag.
찍어드릴게요.
사람들이 기원도 모르고 이런 미제 악습을 잔치처럼 여기네요.
이제 뭐야?
아닙니다. 그냥 보기가 좀 안 좋네요.
그냥 술 마시고 노는 거 아닌가?
Oh my god, he's an extremist. He's everything in this world is wrong. Only there's certain way is correct. Very historical way. He's extreme in his accent. You how the way he says all these things. No social media. And just the way he talks about the facts old stuff.
그게 아니라
He's one of those people.
아무래도 이런 문화가 익숙하지 않아서. 그리고 영씨도 취한 것 같고요.
저 맥주 한 모자 먹고 취할 사람 아니거든요. 됐어요. 귀찮게 안 할게요.
왜 그랬어요?
네?
도대체 왜 그랬냐고요?
And he eats.
선배들 앞에서 브런치도
Okay, his
했잖아요.
seniors. Okay.
그럼 대체 내가 뭐가 됩니까?
뭐가 되긴요? 후배가 되지. 그 사람들 도대체 누군데요?
선배들이요. 나랑 같이 인권 운동했었던.
별 사이도 아니고 왜 이렇게 쩔쯤해요? 그냥 대충 눈치고 나오지.
별거 아니지 않습니다. 남자분 총학생회장에 여자분 참여문학으로 아주 유명한 소설가 분이고요. 나랑은 계속 볼 사람들이란 말입니다.
아니 그 사람들 눈치를 그렇게까지 봐야 돼요? 총학생 회장이면 작가면 뭐.
I make fun of the way that he's really red flaggy, but I totally understand where he's coming from, because when just looking at from a perspective, and I don't want to impose on his emotions or anything, but I think I'm just looking at it in a society aspect of it, that Korea is a very conservative place, and he wants to work the way the group, the social circle he's in is very political, I guess. I think that's the best way I can put it out. So I think he has to protect himself, and I don't think it's internalized homophobia. It's not. I don't think so. But it's more he can't openly be gay because he knows that if he does, it's gonna affect how other perceives him. And he's aware that how these people are pretty homophobic and not accepting. so he has to protect himself if he wants to maintain that kind of passion that he's motivated to go through, that dream that he wants to go to. He can't be openly gay and be affectionate towards his partner like he earlier and stuff like that, and like he's very cautious, and like you can tell that it's a very toxic situation within that student activity, whatever social group that he's trying to be in. It's very toxic. Like the way that that person was like, you don't know that you should be helping him out. Like who are like you are like I don't know like who you are, but like he's like not important, but like he should be doing this instead of people walking around and quote unquote wasting his time. So like that. So like you can clearly it was a nice setup for like, oh, he's already in a very toxic situation, like a lot of hierarchical abuse and stuff like that, and then adding the fact that he's gay, if they know that it's another layer of abuse that he's gonna get, another layer of discrimination that he's gonna get. So it's like in the situation, even if he was straight, he was already like not being respected and abused, but adding to that layer of being gay, that's another layer of abuse and another layer of like if people found out he is going to be kicked down, he's not going to be able to live in that social circle anymore. So like I understand his perspective of it, and then like I just for Young's perspective, I think he has been many ways openly gay and presented like, you know, he is the way he is. There is moments where he is very like, you know, in school we saw all in the first episode, like when he's in school he's more of like reserved and he didn't really want to like announce that he's gay and everything, right? But like as he grown older, I think he's more comfortable with himself, and he doesn't kind of give a fuck about what other people think as much anymore compared to his younger self. But I think in this situation, like him, like you know, like I can tell like he thinks the right direction, but it's like I don't want to say like he's not understanding him. I think it's more like one is confident in themselves and one is very not confident in themselves. Yeah. Is this the episode that everybody talks about? It's given that. It's given that scene.
하지 마세요.
Oh, it's this scene. It is this scene. Okay, I've seen this on Twitter. Look at his facial expressions. Oh my god. Ooh. The hair grab. Oh, he's gonna see something he doesn't like. Did I read that correctly? He's using him as an experiment. Where have I heard this plot before? I've heard this plot before. Like he's using him as an experiment. Oh my god. I did not even expect it. Like I knew he was a red flag for some reason, but like he was playing with his emotions as a research experiment? Elaborate? What the fuck? Okay, so that was my reaction to episode 3 and 4 of what's this called? I'm like, my head is all over the place. Love in the Big City, and episode 4. I think episode 4 was my favorite episode by far. I think you can look at each 2 episodes as like small kind of mini stories, mini journey, mini experiences. And I think it's at the end of this episode, it's like every relationship that you encounter, romantic, platonic, anything, any interactions you have with people, any relationship you build with an individual is a lesson to learn. And I think this show illustrates the difficulties, the realisticness, and the hardships that. I ran out of room on my SD card, so you guys want to watch me on my phone because I gotta clear that up, and I don't want to like lose my train of thought. But what I was saying, yeah, I think the story, it's like I said last week, I think this story is meant to tell the real life experiences and realistic stories of gay men specifically. But I think great writing entails allowing all the audience, oh my god, my stomach's growling, but every audience that like a large range, oh my god, I'm so messed up right now, large range of audience to understand, as well as kind of see a perspective in it. And I think this is like one of also that, like, in episode 1 and 2 did an amazing job doing that. You can watch my reactions to that to find out what my perspective is on that. But 3 and 4 also, I think, like I said throughout the reaction, I think like there are things that I will never understand and truly understand because I am not a gay man. And I think it's okay because we all come from different identities and different backgrounds, and not understanding but still sympathizing and still seeing their perspective is very important. But at the same time, overall in general, I think this story also tells kind of the reality of relationships, and like I said earlier, relationships, platonic or romantic, and the struggle that each individual person that you meet, that you encounter, is a lesson to learn. It could be good lessons, it could be bad lessons, and it could be positive, it could be negative, but it is a lesson to learn, and this is one of them. And I think I'm gonna get like very kind of subjective in many ways, but like this man who comes in doing research on kind of like it's a case study on Jung and everything. It's disgusting for one, and we can definitely, it's a perspective of like, could he, like, you can think about it like, could he have fallen in love with Jung through the process? Was he attracted to men this entire time, but because of the society, the social circle, the consequences of how he grew up and how he kind of like lived in society affected those and bring those like internal homophobia kind of thoughts into him? And that is why he's like so like, I feel like individuals who suppress their emotions, specific emotions in their identity, tend to hate it more and express the hatred towards it more. So like, for him to kind of like, he's trying to find fault in his attraction. So because he's attracted to men, he has to work 300% to find an issue with that problem. So like an example is, I hate bread. I actually don't hate bread. I'm using that example. Like, I hate bread. So I'm gonna spend all my life, my entire like waking moment, finding reasons to express that bread is bad for you. Like, that's like, if you don't understand, that's like, that's what I'm gathering a little bit from this perspective of this character. Like, we can hate him, but we have to also understand his perspective, I think. And at the end of that, like, when like I kind of like at the beginning, like, oh yeah, no, he's just here because he thinks Jung is a sinner, and a like what he's like being with a man is wrong and everything. And when he said like, oh yeah, or a woman, I like the way he said it. But then when Jung came and like attacked him and like hit him, and he did not fight back, that's when, and then his reaction, that's when I kind of felt like, oh, like, this is not just like, I'm here to tell you that your sexual attractions and your identity is wrong. It's more of like, he needs to end this, like, because he started it, and he needs to do it, because if he doesn't do it, that's proving to himself that being gay isn't wrong, but he needs to prove to himself that it is wrong because of that internalized homophobia. And I think the beauty of this whole episode, the past 2 episodes, I think our setup is like, we have these people that we didn't really expect, like, we kind of, the mother never, like, outwardly says, like, being gay is wrong or it's a sin, and, like, but we put, like, little hints here and there, like, she's very religious, she constantly talk about these people who are successful in her life, like, this so-and-so's daughter is getting married to so-and-so who is a doctor, they're getting married, they have kids, they bought an apartment, like, all those, like, very, like, stereotypical, like, straight relationship, and, like, very, very Asian, like, opinions from parents of, like, yeah, my child is graduated from a prestigious school, got married to this beautiful, successful woman or man, and we bought a fancy apartment, and they're gonna live happily ever after, you know, kind of like one-upping each other and stuff like that, and all these things, and then you realize, oh, yeah, all this add together, it makes sense. She's being religious, all these things she's saying, and she wants him to marry a woman she doesn't, well, we found out she does know, but she wants him to marry a woman, and she thinks being gay is a sin, especially we've seen this scene where she is forcing him to go to conversion therapy or whatever program, whatever that is. I don't know what that is, but I don't want to know either. So, like, all that, like, oh yeah, she's not, I don't want to call her homophobic, but, like, I think based on her religion, she thinks it's wrong. But I think throughout the series we learned that, like, she's starting to accept him at the very end. And then for the guy, I forgot his name, I didn't bother remembering his name, but, like, we like, okay, like, there's something wrong with him, definitely off, like, first conversation, like, red flag, man, is the biggest red flag. And then we're like, oh, maybe there's something wrong here, oh, is it internalized homophobia, like, he just doesn't, he grew up in this society that, like, you know, like, he's been abused in his circle, so, like, coming out will even worsen that experience for him, so, like, he's very, like, kind of, like, private about his sexuality, and then, like, you know, like, I guess through our reaction, I was like, oh, I understand where he's coming from. And then, like, we see that, like, a reveal that was, like, the best reveal, I think, like you just didn't expect what he will see in that document, because we kind of created a character of, like, yeah, he's a philosopher, he does all these things, activism and such and such and such, and, like, okay, like, they're like I said, performative activism, like, he and the group of people he's around, like, only believes in, like, giving back to the poor, but if it's fit their criterias of what people deserve to have rights, you know? So, like, there was, like, that, like, I kind of know that, like, there's something wrong with his perspective of things, but I didn't expect it to be that intense. Like, you're using him as a lab rat to testify that being a homosexual is a sin and is wrong and stuff like that. So it's like, I did not expect it at all, and it's so beautiful because, like, the writer knew that we are gonna be aware that he's a red flag, but, like, to what extent? It exceeded. I bet it exceeded all our expectation. I can't wait to go see other people's reaction on Twitter of, like, what they feel, because, like, I, for one, was so shocked, and I think that's that made me love this episode so much, because that's something that is so unexpected for me, and I'm like, oh yes, good writing, I love. But yeah, the ending was beautiful, I think. Just, like, the mother kind of, like, accepting him at the end. Like, I don't think she'll ever outwardly say that she accepts him for the way he is. But I think, like, just, like, saying those specific words already is enough for Young, and enough for the mom, I guess, too, to just kind of live peacefully. To my expectation, obviously, like, it would be, I would expect it to be even, like, better if the mom was outwardly you know, accepting, I guess. But once again, you have to think about the society they live in, and, you know, like, I can't really say, actually, to, like, what is the best thing for a parent who has a gay kid, and, like, what is the right thing to do, you know. But yeah, I don't know if I just didn't really focus on the first 2 episodes, but this 3 and 4 really felt like it's a story, like we're reading a book, you know, like the voiceover. I think there was some of that throughout the episodes of 1 and 2 as well, but it's just something I didn't really catch on fully. Maybe they just did it more these episodes. I know there's different directors for these episodes as well, so I'm like, I really liked it. It didn't, the editing and everything does not feel like episode 1 and 2 at all, which I enjoy, knowing that they're different directors, so they have the opportunity to, like, kind of, like, put their own artistic taste into it, but it felt like we're reading a story. We're hearing a narrative and we're learning his lessons. You know how you read a book, there's always a lesson to tell in a book, where we're learning that throughout the series, throughout the 3 and 4, and we're hearing these things like he's this person, and like, yeah, but the tone of voice like sounds like, oh, there's something wrong, there's a lesson that he's gonna learn here about reality, I guess, and stuff like that. So I think I really enjoyed how it is. And just with the editing here and there, a lot of like layering, so like we can kind of hear like conversation still going on, but the scene change, or like there's like other points here and there, and I think that's really beautifully done. I really enjoyed how it looks overall as well. I do have to say, I think I enjoyed 1 and 2's kind of like cinematography more a little bit overall compared to this one. This one is more like realistic and like Korean drama-esque. The episode 1 and 2 had that noir film, this like indie film kind of feeling to it as well. So I like that more about the story they were telling there. But like I think it the way that they chose to edit and use filters and all these things, and just like the direction they chose really fits for this, I think, storyline, I guess. So it fits, but like from my perspective, I do enjoy like the visuals of episode 1 and 2 a little bit more. But yeah, that's pretty much for my reaction. Thank you guys so much for watching. Please like, comment, subscribe, and follow me on my social media link down below. See you next time.